After finishing this Observers Festival, I forgot to do something, which I guess was needed for the last video, but well, we gotta talk to Catherine.
You're actually Nahida, aren't you? Paimon felt like Catherine was acting weird when we met at the Sub-Zero's festival. And Dunyarzad, did you save her? It's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still weakened.
Okay, let's go.
Chat somewhere else. How about by the traveler's favorite bench?
How are you doing, Dunyazard?
What's going on? Why are you two so excited to see me?
You're not dead.
Hasn't it only been a night?
No.
It's actually been much longer than that.
Oh? Strange. Was I really asleep that long? No wonder I have such a headache.
Back to point A.
It's such a relief that she's alright. After we parted on the last day of the Sub-Zero's festival, I left the city and saw what the traveler had described. Among the countless dreams, I found one that was growing fainter and fainter. This proved my suspicion. Once Dunyarzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. But this also meant it escaped the Akasha's control.
Neat.
Such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though. It will return to its original dream, where both will gradually fade until they completely disappear. I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible. But it still wouldn't have lasted for much longer if it hadn't been for you two breaking the samsara. So it looks like we did manage to save Dunyarzad in the end. Not a moment too soon.
It was perfect. A very happy ending.
Why are you two smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that you'd start crying. I need to spend more time observing human emotions. Both are fine. Everyone reacts differently. Alright, you two must have a lot of other questions for me, right? After all, you saved my faithful believer.
Yeah.
As your reward, I will answer any and all questions.
What about I saw in that dream at the Avidia forest?
At the Avidia forest, there was this incense that made the traveler fall unconscious.
That's Zaza, you know what I'm talking about.
A huge tree and a red sky. You also heard someone's voice, right? It said world and forget me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you do know. We've been wanting to ask you what that was about, and if the red sky was related to Conria. It seems like the traveler established a connection to Irminsul. That was a message left by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul. Perhaps her last memory before she died.
Oh.
As you two probably know, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared after the disaster in Conria. The timings of these events do line up, so your suspicions are reasonable. A message from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata? We thought it was from King Deshret.
No.
Deshret? That god who died even longer ago?
Yeah.
Some present-day desert dwellers still worship him. You probably just heard some of their conspiracies.
Yeah, by the Island Ahmar.
What does the message mean? I still haven't managed to decipher it. Even the Akasha isn't currently capable of doing that. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul seems to be contaminated with something that has a very dangerous aura to it.
The Withering.
Many devoted scholars go mad as soon as they connect their consciousness. I've warned the academia about this many times, but people still keep falling victim to it.
Because people are stupid.
But I believe this is the key to saving Irminsul. That's why I've kept trying to decipher it. So the tree in the vision was Irminsul? Oh, Tainari also said that Irminsul is sick. Is it because of the contaminated consciousness? But even if you can't figure out what that vision was all about, it seems like our search for you was all in vain. The Traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact with that consciousness. I've never seen anyone like that. With you here, we may have a chance of deciphering it.
I guess the traveler doesn't get contaminated like in Monster with the tear of the violin.
No, we must decipher its secrets. I've already eliminated all other factors that might affect Irminsul. This is the only one left.
Okay.
This puzzle has life and death at stake. It could determine Irminsul's fate, as well as Teyvat's. Got it. I hope my answers were satisfactory, seekers of knowledge.
Of course.
To be honest, maintaining Dunyarzad's fading dream took a lot of mental energy. I think I may need to rest for a while. Oh, and you don't need to worry too much about the Sage's activities for now. The Akasha won't be able to conduct another project on the scale of the Sub-Zero's Samsara in the immediate— Go and get some sleep. Leave everything to us. What a relief. This is truly the most exhausting birthday I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Traveler? Paimon? Why am I here? Do either of you know?
Hey, sorry, you know we had a deal last night. But the problem is last night was like 1 or 2 months ago, so... Still wanna talk about that?
Maybe you were sleepwalking.
Yeah, sleepwalking, yeah.
Sleepwalker. We happened to walk by, so we thought we'd wait for you to wake up.
He knows what I'm talking about. Look at Ether's face.
I see. Huh. I should visit my maintenance personnel sometime. Oh, I'm fine. I better go. Thank you.
We spent quite some time in Sumeru City, but ever since we last said goodbye to Lesser Lord Kusanali, we haven't heard anything from her.
Yeah.
Ad Astra Avisask. We meet again, you two.
This is Nahida.
Hi, Catherine. Do you have any commissions for us today?
Commissions, huh? Let me think. Oh, how about this? Please attend the Academia's Academic Symposium this afternoon and recite a love poem on stage.
Wait, say what now?
And if possible, please also use your camera to capture the reaction of the audience upon finishing the poem.
Huh? What kind of commission is that?
The audience will definitely feel a reaction.
I see. It appears that you're not interested in this commission.
No.
In that case, please go to Port Armos and convince the Eremites there to spend some time volunteering at the local orphanage.
Hey, that's not any better.
Mercenaries and orphanage really don't go together.
I'm sure the mercenaries will have some interesting reactions as well.
Paimon's gotta ask. Just who exactly has been submitting these commissions to the Adventurers Guild?
Oh, the commissioner? Well, actually, I just wanted to see the two of you in action.
I knew it from the moment you say Ad Astra Avisask. You're Nahida.
Was it so obvious? I was hoping you would actually take one of those commissions.
Oh, this is creepy.
The chance to observe humans doesn't come by often. Ah, so it's Nahida. Paimon just knew Catherine wouldn't crack those kinds of jokes. When did you get into her head? From when she said Ad Astra Abisask?
I knew it.
It's been you this whole time?
Oh yeah.
Are you done resting up, Nahida? Yes. I've been sleeping ever since we parted ways. And I even had a really, really long dream.
It's been like 2 seconds, Nahida. What are you talking about? What did your dream talk about?
It was another dream about the Sub-Zero's festival, except it was a happy one.
I'm so
In
happy
my
for you.
dream, I was sitting in the middle of a flower terrace, and everyone in Sumeru City was holding hands as they danced in circles around me.
Oh.
They danced round and round, and everyone looked really happy.
I'm getting PTSD. I'm getting PTSD from Nahida's trailer.
I also got to sit on a gigantic flower carriage.
Oh fuck no.
First, the night of flowers raised me really, really high above the ground, and I was throwing an endless amount of Yalda candies at the children.
Okay, I think it's time
Maybe
to.
your dream is how the Sub-Zero's festival really should be.
I'm not so sure about that, Paimon.
It's time where everyone gets together to celebrate your birthday.
Yeah, but in reality, I'm getting PTSD from your trailer. God damn it.
Wasn't I describing a really happy dream? Why are you both looking at me like that? Wait, could this be an example of the emotion known as pity?
Yeah, no.
We aren't pitying you. That would only make everything worse. We just don't want you to feel too sad. By the way, have you had a chance to visit Dunyarzad? How's she doing? The homie Yanni's haven't allowed any visitors after the festival, so we haven't been able to check on her. Yes, I paid her a visit right after I woke up. She was resting at the time. Her condition is stabilized. However, since Elazar is a manifestation of the withering on the human body, we can only cure it by finding a way to take care of Irminsul's own withering. But for the moment, our top focus should still be figuring out what the sages are up to and what they're planning.
Okay.
Right. Who knows what'll happen if they manage to pull off another scheme like the Samsara of the Sub-Zero's festival. So our first priority should be investigating and putting a stop to the sages' activities. As for how we should pull that off, let's discuss it somewhere else. There are too many adventurers around here. Oh, good point. Sorry, adventurers. We're gonna be borrowing Catherine for a little while.
What in the hell is this face, Paimon? Dreams, emptiness, and deception. Are you serious about this?
Let's continue our chat here. Okay, so do you have any ideas on how we can investigate the sages, Nahida? Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that. But for now, I want to hear your thoughts.
We could grab someone close to the sages and question them.
We're in the dark as of now. Since we still don't know anything about their goals, any rash move could tip them off and lead to terrible consequences. After all, every person in Sumeru City is one of their hostages.
Possess a key figure in the academia.
I've already tried that, but all the key members of the academia, even the core 30 guards, intentionally avoid wearing their Akasha terminals. It seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the Akasha. Of course, it could also be because they're wary of me. Have you already caught the sage's attention? I'm guessing not yet. But distrusting me would make perfect sense if they've ever paid attention to the urban legends about me. In any case, I probably can't take over their minds directly.
So let's process a student and infiltrate the Sage Squad.
No way, that's
That's too risky, yeah.
You mean it'd be too easy to get caught? No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve innocent students in this. A single mistake could completely ruin their lives. Doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish goals. How is that any different from what the sages are doing? That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru.
Of course. She has the wisdom that you will never have, Paimon. I can't think of anything else.
Are we really out of ideas? Nahida, you're super smart, so you already have something in mind, right? Don't keep us in suspense. Spill the beans already. According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the Academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning of a planning session will give more weight to the actual proposal. Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that kind of gimmick to make us take your ideas seriously. Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, And if I can't get ordinary people involved, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the sages. You're saying we should recruit a spy? That does sound like it could work. Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Alhaitham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes doing stuff behind the Academia's back.
Maybe.
Probably aren't in cahoots. Actually, I already have someone in mind.
No.
Do you still remember that female scholar named Setaria? Setaria? Paimon remembers now.
Nope, I do not remember.
Isn't she the one who's always trailing behind the Grand Sage of the Academia?
Wait,
We ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeated itself. You could even say we're old enemies by now.
are you really? Are you really talking about that chick who made me yell in front of my game, bro?
Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she always spoke to Nilu. I've always liked observing all kinds of people, and Setaria has always stood out from the crowd.
Okay.
She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the academia, and also gave her the opportunity to serve as the sage's assistant. Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the desert dwellers around the city are working as mercenaries. The name Setaria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest star in the night sky. Later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given a place in the daytime sky to complement the sun's dazzling light. Soon after, the star witnessed the sun scorching the earth, which brought forth many disasters. The star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be better to return and light up part of the night sky? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes.
This is no longer just a metaphor. Those are Sataria's true thought, right?
From the sound of it, Setaria's just hung up on the research opportunities here. But she doesn't really support the academia. She still feels guilty about not doing more for the desert, right? She's just running away from her problems. Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people will simply plug their ears and go with the flow until the problem can't be fixed anymore. She's suppressing a lot of guilt, but before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice. She can't deny her part in their schemes anymore.
Sounds exactly like the person we need.
Right.
I think
We
so.
must somehow make her face her problems again. That way, not only can we get useful intel from her, but she can also use it as an opportunity to redeem herself. From my past observations, Setaria will take a day off from the academia every 10 days to do some shopping in the city. Tomorrow afternoon just happens to be a shopping day for her. That'll be our chance. To prepare, let's go check out some of her favorite spots and have a quick chat with a few of the vendors there.
Okay, so I think that what we're gonna do, we're gonna gather more.
This should be Setaria's favorite fortune-telling spot. So should we ask the fortune teller about Setaria? No, I already have enough information on Setaria. The most important thing now is for you to pay attention to the vendor's talking style and key characteristics. Talking style and key characteristics?
My poor lost lambs, have you become troubled over your fates? The divine voice of wisdom often echoes between mine ears. If thou be blessed today by the gods, I may be able to show you the way.
Huh? Really? Nahida, you've been whispering things to her?
Shh. My friend here has some doubts regarding his future. Can we get a fortune reading for him?
Of course, of course. In that case...
Explain to me, Nabia.
It would seem that Harut and Marut are quite wary of you. Perhaps, at some time in the past, you have somehow offended the gods.
Oh,
Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the Lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro. Do those count?
can we also talk about saying that the god of Sumeru is a little bit creepy, Nahida?
Oh, nothing. Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
Divine my prospects in love.
Love prospects? No problem at all.
Okay, if she doesn't give me every goddamn girl that I know, I don't care, just give me Dia, I'll be happy.
The gods have spoken.
Please Dia, please Dia, please Dia.
Be revealed. One who is fated to cross your path will appear on... Huh? So many people will fall for you. How could that be?
I am the Wizard of Oz, I am the Riz God, nothing else.
Harut, Marut, did you two spoil my divination? I've never read a fortune so absurd.
It ain't absurd.
Actually, Paimon thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune telling you've ever done.
Wait, so they... so in the game they do acknowledge that I have a harem. Okay, see.
I admit that the orientation of today's celestial matrix is suboptimal.
It ain't really today. Thank you.
Is that so? Well, that can't be helped.
If you were to bring some food offerings for Harut and Marut on your next visit, perhaps they could help you reverse the wheels of fate.
Okay.
Is this another one of Setaria's favorite stalls? Yep. It belongs to a king. His father helped Setaria a lot when she first moved to Sumeru City, so she still comes by whenever she has time. When I start talking with him, listen carefully to the details of our conversation.
Ah, dear customers. Would you like to look at some pottery?
We caught wind of your great craftsmanship, so we specifically came to take a look.
Okay.
Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild? Sounds like I'm in for some big business.
Speaking of, where did you learn this trade?
I suppose you could say it all started with my dad. He's a mason by trade, but I picked up an interest in clay while apprenticing for him. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret, and I simply changed trades when my works turned out well. Although it's a pity that I'm no longer making much use of the knowledge provided to me by the Akasha.
That's nice. You're making a living doing something you love.
So is your father still working as a mason?
Is he still alive,
no,
your father?
Not anymore. A few years back, he fell from a roof and broke his leg. Since he had already saved enough Mora over all these years, he's just enjoying the retired life in Port Ormos nowadays.
I see. We wish him peace and happiness in his retirement. I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some goods. We'll leave you to it. Take care now.
No problem. Rest easy, all our goods are sure to meet your every need.
Okay, I'll be back to see you, Akim. You have the name of someone I know in real life. Who else?
This should be our final stop. Setaria's always thinking of this restaurant when she's working at the academia. so she always comes by whenever she's out in the city. Nahida, you've really thought of everything! It's my duty to protect Samaria's citizens, after all.
Yeah.
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before.
Huh? Sorry, I don't quite remember.
If I recall, you were having a discussion with someone about shipbuilding at the time.
Ah, that's right. I've always been really interested in feats of marine engineering.
Okay, I don't want to be racist or anything. Genshin isn't really a name of somebody of Sumeru. Her name suits more for somebody coming from Liyue or with Liyue origins. I don't know, okay?
After all, I grew up in Liyue Harbor
I'm a goat.
and spent my entire
I'm a
childhood
goat.
staring at the ships going in and out of the port. I came to Sumeru to study, but failed to make it into the academia due to my lack of talent. But I'm still discussing all kinds of problems with different scholars, and I'm continuing to study and perform research from the restaurant's basement. I'm sure I'll get to the academia after their next round of exams.
What an admirable spirit for learning. Amazing.
Sure, but you'll find hardworking people wherever you go.
So this restaurant has a basement as well? Huh. First I've heard of it.
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees use it for breaks or to hold private events.
I see. Yes, that makes sense. Well, good luck with your studies, Miss Chishan.
Thank you so much. As long as I can make it into the academia as an official student, I'll be happy.
I'm praying for you, Genshin. This
So,
music
was that
is
everybody?
fucking beautiful. Yeah.
3 familiar faces should be enough for Setaria. What's the point of all the information we've collected? Nahida, you still haven't told us how you're planning to make Setaria face her problems. Setaria is already used to avoiding her problems, so we must find a way to break through her usual sensibilities. I remember you mentioned that the Eremites in Port Ormuz are all making a fuss about the upcoming resurrection of King Deshret. Although it's all just a boatload of nonsense, the fate of her homeland may turn out to be Setaria's soft spot. Oh, Paimon gets it now! You want to take advantage of the guilt Setaria feels about her homeland. Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the sages.
If King Deshret were to criticize Setaria's action,
So, how do we set that up? Well, King Deshret is long gone, and Setaria is also too smart to fall for any simple tricks. If we simply engaged her under the guise of King Deshret's believers, she would definitely be weary of us, and we may not get anywhere. But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk with her, her reaction would probably be very different.
of course.
So, you mean you're going to possess those people we just talked to? Yep. Possess them through the Akasha.
Okay.
Imply they've already converted to the faith of King Deshret, and then convey our made-up will of King Deshret. As long as everything goes smoothly, we'll get through to Setaria for sure. She'll never guess that we had anything to do with it.
She will never
So
guess.
that's how you're going to use all the info we collected on these people.
God damn it, she's
So
talking
that you
about
won't
possession
slip
as if
up
it's
and break
normal.
form. Possessing them will only work if you can manage to pass off as them.
Shut up, Paimon, let me talk. She's talking about possession as if it was something normal. She's like, are you going to possess them? Yeah, of course.
Exactly. So, best of luck with impersonating them. Huh? Best of luck? But we don't know how to possess anyone.
She will
That's
possess
no
the person.
problem at all. I'll just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them. As long as you're also wearing an Akasha terminal, the effect will basically be as if you've possessed them yourself. Huh. That is pretty convenient. But why to do this. Can't you do it yourself?
Although I've been observing humans for a while, I've never been good at imitating them.
You're not wrong. It's always been painfully obvious whenever you try to pass as Catherine.
I'll try my best.
If it was at all possible, I would have preferred to leave these people alone. But seeing how things are now, I probably should just accept it and push on.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up over it. We're only doing this to help everyone, and we'll only be borrowing them for a little while anyway.
Alright, then let's give it a go tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.